Assalamu alaikum and welcome to the Mad Mamluks. My name is Sim. Along with me are my co-hosts, Shaykh Amir.
Assalamu alaikum.
And Mort. And we have a special guest here with us, one of our longtime TMM listeners and fan. Please welcome Dr. Sajjad. Welcome to the show, Dr. Sajjad.
Oh, thank you. So, walaikum salam. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, Dr. Sajjad was in town, and I'm like, you know what? Let's just have him on the show. He was on a show a long time ago, but we had to take that show down because the audio was messed up or something. I can't remember the details of that story. But
as long as he wasn't being controversial.
It was too controversial.
I don't think
you're gonna get me fired.
You know that's the funny thing. Your personality is very like chill. Like you don't like a whole lot of controversy, but
super chill, mashallah.
But like you listen to a show and have been a big supporter of ours over the years, and we've had you've seen like all the ups and downs and different people that we've interacted with or have made friends with, and you probably didn't like, but you stuck by, and it always made me like wonder. I'm like, why does Sajjad like us?
Yeah, you're like such a nice, peaceful dude. Do you have like an inner hooligan that we just demonstrated for you, so you don't have to do it?
No, man. I think it's a combination. I think one, I appreciate the hustle. I think you guys, to be so persistent. And obviously, this is I think a lot of Sim's doing of making sure that the show, rain or shine, happens on a consistent basis. I think that's one, impressive, and then two, I know it's difficult. I know you guys are content creators, and sometimes I don't necessarily agree with the content. Maybe I don't know, but I think at the end of the day, I think I understand your objectives, and I appreciate that, and then I've met you guys in person, and so
yeah. Barbecued it out too.
Yeah. I think there's always a different dynamic, when you meet people in real life, and
yeah, it's crazy. Like I sometimes wonder. I'm like, if I had just met Sajjad or someone like you, just on Twitter or something, I'm like, I'm not sure we would have just gotten along just as well because when we first met, as a listener, when we were first interacting over text or whatever, I don't know where you were first. Actually, it was a YouTube post you were first chatting with. You'd comment under a YouTube.
I think I emailed you.
Or rather.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, this guy's kind of annoying. His questions are kind of annoying. And I mean that in a nice way. Can you say that?
Yeah, you can.
But well, because we're cool like that, so we can say that to each other, right? But anyway, and I'm like, it's so cool because when you actually build a relationship, and I actually developed a good respect for you because I'm like, you know what, this guy has so many different disagreements, and he's still always like listening, engaging, asking questions. Yeah. He wants to be challenged, and he's like, hey, you know what, these are my ideas. This is what I think is right. But he's not like being stubborn about it, right? He's not like necessarily holding on, and it's so refreshing to have a conversation with someone who's just not being stubbornly holding on to
after 3
ideas,
of those, you could have left. You could be like, dude, forget this, I'm out, bro. Right. These guys don't listen.
I will say this. I first interacted with you on the WhatsApp group, right? And we used to go back and forth. Yeah. And a lot of people who were early on in the group who are no longer there anymore, they just can't take the... I mean, I'm very open about what I believe. I'm the same way on the show and off the show, right? And... yeah, we used to butt heads a little bit sometimes, but it was all with mutual respect.
Yeah,
and I think when we met in person, a deeper understanding developed. Right?
It humanizes things too.
Yeah, and it's not just the text you're responding to. Yeah. But I mean, I think that's one thing I think I can appreciate what he said is that if somebody's willing to have a conversation and not just shut it out and just be argue all the time. I respect that because what happens is there are some people who will, argue and then they'll make their point and then they realize, okay, that's enough. I got my point. They made their point, and we're not going to agree, and then just move past it, right? And he was like that, right? And I like that because there were some individuals that I'd make a comment and they want to go full on debate mode, like they'd leave me 10 voice messages and want to call me and talk. I'm like, it's not that serious, bro. right? Like, it's really not. It's just an opinion I have. You know, you can type it out, we can go back and forth, but he was very different. His temperament was very different. I think that
his
temperament
was different, but in the way he typed or he communicated, it came off like a bit strong, you know, like he really had conviction in what he believed in, and that's rightfully so. That's fine. But then there's like childish people who like say, "Oh, you know what? You're not listening to, or you're not. We're not on the same terms," and they end up leaving. You know,
or ad hominems. You know,
I mean, I think the medium is so important. I know in the WhatsApp group, there's times where Sims had to remind me I'm being rude, and it comes across that way, and you're like, you know what? Yeah, I am, and I don't mean to. My initial contact with you guys actually was email, and it's just, you know, it's easier to kind of elaborate and stuff. And I still remember the first email I wrote to you guys was, I mean, I don't even know if I should get into this, but the first email was just appreciation because, you know, I commute to work and I like to listen to something productive, and I really appreciated the show. And then the second email was you had somebody on the show that it was the first time I've listened to anything, podcast, YouTube video, whatever. I just could not go through the show. The guest was just too much, and I wrote to you, and I was just like, I just can't. I just want you to know my perspective. I just can't handle this guy, and I think that and me and Mort, if we get, you know,
was that Nabil Aziz?
No, it was the infamous, you know, the one who should not be named.
Darul Hikmah,
who actually, I mean, we've gone through like multiple iterations of our WhatsApp group.
That guy has caused so many problems. No other organization has experienced more problems than the Bad Mamluks from that one person alone.
Yeah,
like fractured so many different relationships.
But I warned. I was like, I felt like I was the harbinger or whatever. I was like, this guy. Maybe you don't see it from my perspective, but like, there's just way more bad than good coming out of it, and I felt like.
But even though you weren't necessarily against what he was saying, it's just the delivery.
It's like if I invited you to my house and I'm like, come for dinner, and then I throw pizza at your feet. I'm like, I invited you. Come on,
eat it.
Like, you're gonna punch me in the face. Like, I mean. So yeah, I agree. A lot of the content was if coming in a different manner was fine. It is fine, but like, you know, it actually, you know, what's hurtful to me is like, we're all Muslims on this WhatsApp group, and we've gone through multiple iterations. People drop the group, and it's like, we're kind of the minority of the minority, right? You got a group of practicing Muslims who care about Islam to the point where they're listening to podcasts, they're going to the masjid and stuff,
right?
And then you got this dude who's driving a wedge between people like that, and that's what bothered me. That's why I'm like, this just is not productive.
Yeah,
but that's just
you know. I'm glad you mentioned that. That's a really good way of looking at it.
Yeah,
a small group of Muslims that are trying to be active in a certain way, and even that there's a wedge being driven in. Yeah, it's really interesting.
Imam Tom, I love him, right? And you know, he's addressing certain issues recently, and he's like, this is like kind of all hands on deck kind of issue, you know. And it just hit me when he said it. It's like, yeah. So you have, you know, alhamdulillah, as Muslims, we're, you know, when it comes to, you know, these gender identity issues and all that stuff, I don't want to get too involved in that, but like, we're holding it down. You know, there's no mainstream Muslim who is supporting this. They never have. And there's been slander making it seem like they have, but we don't only want to get into that. No one's really holding it down. And so when he says all hands on deck, why are you making up stuff to make it seem like there's a division when there really is no division? You know, we're all on the same page.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, right now we just had Eid Al Adha. Shaykh, are you full on stuffed, and you know, you had your udhiyah taken care of?
Yeah, alhamdulillah, it was really nice. It was really nice. Yes, sir. I thought you were going to say, so how are your days of tashriq going right now? No, those ended a while ago. But those were, it was great, man.
I think it was kind of funny that Sim didn't know the takbirat, like you would say.
Like, you know what?
He knew the takbirat. Why are you throwing him under the bus, bro?
He was making the Hajj one on the way to
no, he wasn't. Why are you talking about this on air, bro?
No, it's okay. It's okay to talk about shit. What? Let's.
I have ghira for you, bro.
Oh, don't worry about it, bro.
Yeah, we are learning,
in my mind, it makes more sense to say labbaik Allahumma labbaik. You know, while you're driving to the Eid prayer. Doesn't that make sense, Shaykh? Why are you laughing?
I don't know. I just knew like since I was like 3 years old, we'd be doing the takbirat in the car all the way to the masjid. Like all of us would do it. All of our families do it. But so you made a conscious decision to just do labbaik Allah.
No, I thought it would be fine. Like I'm like, okay,
it is fine. There's nothing actually wrong with that.
Oh, see,
you could do any dhikr.
I didn't say the normal one was wrong. I just thought, hey, in the spirit of the Hajj.
Oh, see, there you go.
In the spirit of the Hajj,
Mort making him look like he's bad.
I didn't say anything. I just say I thought it was funny that he was making that talbiyah while he was on the way to the masjid that the Hajjaj do. That's all.
That's awesome.
I know. The there's like this thing about the Eid is not connected with the Hajj, right? So because apparently there were two.
They don't have Eid over there. We do Eid over here. The people who are not doing Hajj.
Right, but there's like no religious connection between the Eid and the Hajj, right?
No,
there is. No, that's what there's like this big debate among Muslim scholars that there's no actual connection between the commandment of the Hajj and the Eid Al Adha.
No, I mean Eid is not mandatory for Hajj because the Hujjaj don't do Eid, but the Muslims celebrate Eid at the marking at the end of the Hajj.
That's what I thought. Not at Hajj.
That's what I thought, but apparently, like I was scrolling through some, like people who are well informed about the religions. They said that there's a separation between the Eid itself and the Hajj.
There is because the Hajj, the Eid is for the non-Hajjaj. Okay, Eid is not a rite or a pillar of Hajj.
But those two are not connected, right?
No, they are connected, but not for the Hajj.
Not for the person performing Hajj. That's what you're referring to.
Yeah, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about in terms of the actual religious commandments about the Hajj was separate, and the Eid Al Adha was the celebration was separate. Like it was during different times when the Prophet ﷺ said that we need to observe it.
Oh, he may be talking about the fact that when in Hudaybiyah, where they were made to do the slaughter without even performing the pilgrimage. Mm-hmm. But I don't know if that's an argument to make that it's separate from...
You mean it's like mutually exclusive?
We have to know exactly what he's referring to because I think you're crossing some wires.
He's saying that... What he's saying is he's read that some people are arguing that there's no connection between Eid Al Adha and the Hajj, the rites of Hajj.
The rites of Hajj, of course.
But what I'm saying is there is a connection because there is no Eid without Hajj and Hajj. Like there's like
that's what I'm saying. There may be a few wires that he's crossing, but
hang on. Here's this one. I just did a quick Google.
Yeah,
do a quick Google.
Just a quick Google here. Here's one right here. Oh no.
Let's see if we're both understanding this correctly.
Sorry guys.
It's okay. You never need to apologize to us.
I don't have this window set up.
I mean, it would have been nice if he had the Shaykh actually comment, but he doesn't know anything. So
yeah.
All right. There are two Eid Al Adhas. There are two Eids in Islam. Eid al-Fitr and Eid al-Adha. Okay, although Eid al-Adha has no direct relation to the Hajj pilgrimage, it is a day after the completion of the Hajj and therefore has significance in time.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
So what's between the lines is the people who are performing Hajj, there's no Eid for them because they're coming back and throwing the stones and going to Jamarat and then going to Mina and all that stuff. We're not doing any of that. They have the day of Arafah where they stand up on the day of Arafah. Right, and standing has a significance. Yeah. He asked the people to stand, so there'd be more space for them to do dua, and so people anywhere where you stand on the mountain of Arafah is the same ajr. There's no it's not like lines in Salah, right? The closer lines. That's what we have, and they have at the same time. That's where the duas are accepted. That's where we fast and all that. The next day after that, we are celebrating Dhul Hijjah while they're fulfilling rest of their rites. Yeah. They're not, no one's saying Eid Mubarak, this is Eid, day of Eid.
So the thing is that because there's a celebration for us because those 10 days are the best 10 days.
Yeah.
Right? Dhul Hijjah, there's no better 10 days than Dhul Hijjah. You know that, and right?
First and foremost, obviously celebrating and commemorating Ibrahim alayhi salam sacrifice,
so,
which occurred on the mountain of Arafah.
So what I'm saying is that
wait, even better than the last 10 days of Ramadan?
Yes, the last 10 nights of Ramadan are better than the last 10 days of Dhul Hijjah. I mean the first 10 days of Dhul Hijjah. The days of Dhul Hijjah are better than the days of Ramadan, and the nights of Ramadan are better than the nights of Dhul Hijjah.
That's how merciful Allah is. He separated the days and the nights for us for more possibility of attainment. You know what I'm saying?
So we're celebrating that and then commemorating. So the barakah of that, and then the conclusion of that is what Ibrahim was tested. And then his submission, which is what you're doing when you make a sacrifice, you're submitting.
Yep.
And so it's a celebration of all that. And Hajj is also from the rites of Ibrahim. Ibrahim made Hajj. So all of this is in commemoration and in paying or in following the footsteps of Millatu Ibrahim.
And even Hajar.
Yeah, the methodology of
so it is relation.
Yeah.
But then why is it saying that?
Because they're probably referring to the Hajjaj.
They're referring to the people who are performing the rites of Hajj.
Yeah. So confusing.
So
Allah forgive them. I need to write a refutation.
No,
the devil's deception.
So in the beginning, that probably wasn't the
Daniel
main point.
Pikachu and people who are connecting.
50-page PDF right now, bro. These deviants.
Shaykh, I got a question for you too.
They just separate.
So,
they just didn't separate it.
To put you on the spot, but so I did Eid prayer. I'm not gonna say where, but the Imam forgot to do the 3 extra takbir in the first rakat, and then we just continued, and no one corrected him. I mean, in my mind, I was like in the 5th row. I was like,
"Oh man, your Eid didn't count then."
Don't say that.
So
what happened after he finished?
He didn't do it. He stood up and he said, I forgot, and there's no Sajjad Sahum in Eid prayer. So he just went with the khutbah and we ended.
Yeah, that's fine. Look,
he had one job.
So this
he had literally one job.
This happened to me once before when I was in Rhode Island.
Look, it's okay to forget about the takbirat when you're one of the people who are attending. In the back, you don't know which place you are in. You're thinking about your schedule.
A lot of people, and you forget to count, bro. You know.
So
can you out this person?
No,
we need
no.
to.
So before you continue,
Rhode Island, right? And so this was a young Imam, and he went on like before the Eid prayer. This is how you do it. Everyone pay attention, whatever. And he completely forgot.
Okay, so let me ask you this: was it the 3 takbirat? Did you do the Hanafi style 3 takbirat, 3 takbirat?
That's what we were supposed to do.
So he forgot one unit of one of those. The second rakat.
The first rakat he didn't do.
He did
first. Okay.
After
that's fine.
So then this Imam, he finished. And I think he forgot all 6. I don't even know if he did any. And so he finished, and people got up and went nuts. There was like 5 people and they were just like screaming like crazy. And I was like, dude, come on, like,
wow, that's serious.
And then what the Imam did though. So he's this young guy, and he was just like, you're blaming me? He's like, I blame you. He's like, there's like 1,000 of you and no one corrected me. And then we prayed again.
He's got a point there.
We prayed again.
No, that's fine.
We prayed again.
Oh, you prayed again.
You can.
It's not a fard prayer anyway.
Yeah, it's not fard.
Right.
And it's a beautification of the prayer.
Yeah.
But you know what I love watching? All the guys that don't pay attention to the Imam who come,
go down.
And they go in the second rakah, they go down before, in the first takbir. I love it. And they're like, they're sitting there in ruku. And everyone's like, oh, and they back up. It's like a whole lot.
He finds this stuff funny, bro.
I do. It's so hilarious.
So did our Eid prayer count?
He didn't replay it. It's fine. Look,
not the one we. So this time I was almost saying we didn't repray. We just.
Oh, so you said this is the new
most
incident
most
that's
current
happened,
one,
and you almost slipped. Dude, when things aren't fard, let's break it down.
Wajib is Hanafis.
According to Abu Hanifa, it's wajib, right?
Right.
But according to the rest of the Imma, it's a sunnah.
Okay.
It's a sunnah mu'akkada. If you want to pray, you do. If you don't, it's totally fine, right? And people were saying this to me. I know you didn't mention this, but they're like, "Hey, make sure you make an announcement that people pray the khutbah. They stay for the khutbah. The khutbah is not a condition for the salah.
It's not like Jummah.
It's not like Jummah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because so hadith Rasulullah, he said, "Whoever wants to stay. If you're not staying, then leave. So they don't distract the people there."
But I'm not gonna lie though. I kind of look at the guys that leave early as a cop out. I'm like, man,
fine,
it's the day of Eid and you took your day off.
Yeah, it's best practice. Obviously.
No, and then there's what's even worse: the people that leave in the middle of the khutbah. Like, either decide if you're gonna stay. If you did it, commit to the end. Don't get up in the middle of it, like, and be like, "Yo, all right, I had enough.
They gotta get the donuts. Man.
Yeah, exactly. I got my donut, by the way.
By the way, Shaykh did lead the Eid prayer.
I saw your post. By the way, you were very
crazy.
excited when you posted, like, Shaykh Amir,
that was crazy.
Exclusive leading salah. I was like, yes, that's good promotion.
Of course, people need to know our noble Shaykh
that he's a real Shaykh. It's like validation.
People give him responsibilities.
Do you feel extra pressure in those situations?
No, not at all. There
were thousands of people.
That was probably one of the worst days I ever had to do a khutbah in front of anybody.
Did you forget?
It was in the middle of the forest fires that are during the pollution.
That was nothing, bro. I woke up the night before. I just had crazy diarrhea, like insane.
Oh, okay. We too much TMI.
Oh, sorry, bro. I thought you guys were okay with it. Sorry.
I'm fine.
Now this is TMI?
Yeah,
after all the stuff you guys talked about, this is TMI, bro?
I'm not even worried about it.
Okay.
What? We got a medical doctor here. Is this TMI, bro?
No.
He's seen worse.
You could have said loose bowels.
Fine, bro.
Stomach
I had the
issues.
runs. Dude.
Motions.
I had the
Motions.
runs. Loose motions. I had the runs, bro. So that morning, I was like, you know what? Let me just have some water and just that's all I'll have. But even that, bro, so I was like dehydrated. My mouth was all dry. Like you know that khutbah I gave? That was not even like what the khutbah that I was supposed to give.
So
I just hurry up and finish as fast, and it was hot outside, and there were kids crying in the front. My mouth is dry. I'm feeling dizzy, and then the whole part.
That was a short version.
Yeah.
Man,
did you almost forget the takbirat or?
No, I didn't forget that.
Oh, okay.
It's just I was like, man, let me get this over because by the time I finished the prayer, even while I was praying, my mouth was like sandpaper, bro.
So let me ask you. So I heard that that the sunnah is in any khutbah to like be quick with it.
Yeah, it is.
Why do we do 30 minutes everywhere?
So there's some places in the world that still do it pretty quick. So the hadith of Rasulullah is the khutbah that's longer than the salah is an unwise person.
Right. So
right?
Basically what they're saying is the khutbah should not be longer than the time it takes to pray those 2 rak'ah.
Yeah. But naturally that change historically because Rasulullah would stand up and just say ittaqullah, just fear Allah 3 times and he would sit down. That was enough.
That's the best.
That was enough for them. Right? And he'd be crying when he'd be saying it, and everyone would be crying just by him saying fear Allah 3 times, and he'd sit down. Right? Umar radiallahu anhu would do the same thing. But as the time went on, people needed more and more information, knowledge, and education. Obviously, if you were just to say fear Allah now is a khutbah, people would just be like, okay, well, because they're not even used to it in the first place. But now, if you're in a non-Muslim nation and you're a place where people don't speak Arabic, you have to unpack a lot of things.
But
so it's an opportunity.
I feel like though that makes sense for like the Friday khutbah. But
I'm talking about Friday khutbah. No, Eid is different. I'm talking about Friday khutbah.
Eid should just be like ittaqullah, ittaqullah, ittaqullah.
Yeah. No. What Rasulullah wasn't referring to.
I don't think it should. I think it should be very
10,
long.
15 minutes.
No, I think it should be a solid 15-20 minutes. This is a time where most Muslims who are not practicing Muslims come to the prayer, and they come to the mosque, and it's usually the only time, or that and the Eid al-Fitr are the only times they come to the mosque, and this is the only moment you have to give them some rope that they can latch onto.
Yeah. You know, I'm calling BS. Listen, bro. Even those ones that do come that one time, they're not listening. They're talking to each other. You've seen them. I've seen people having full-on conversations.
All right, bro. You might have seen 1 or 2 per people, but
the majority of people are listening.
Most people are listening.
Maybe let's just be very generous. Maybe 1/10 of the people are not listening. Bro.
Majority. Whenever I go, majority of people who don't, I've never seen around the masjid and don't come, who are not coming, they're usually like just on their phone or like they're talking to somebody. I swear, people are having different languages are having conversations.
I think you need to switch mosques.
Hey,
where did you go?
I go to where Haqqani goes to. I went to the Hanover Park.
Oh yeah,
where the giant one in the dome.
Masjid Al Huda?
Yeah.
He doesn't even know the name.
No, I know, but it's not at Masjid Al Huda.
Yeah, okay.
It's at the park.
Oh,
the
they
dome.
did it outside.
Yeah, it's in the dome.
The shrine.
I know Masjid Al Huda. God.
I thought they did it in the masjid. They didn't
no,
do it.
It's out. It's in the dome, bro. It's in the.
Did Haqqani give the khutbah?
Well, I didn't attend that one because I started going to the very early morning ones.
Oh, that's the best one.
No, because
Those
first of all, there's no fashion show.
Yeah.
There's no unnecessary women around.
Yeah.
No unnecessary children. Yeah. Because let's be honest, the people who aren't serious, they're not gonna come up after Fajr.
Yeah.
They're gonna come later on, and they're gonna sleep through Fajr and come later on.
Oh, you want to pray with the serious people?
Yeah, because that it's
the
quick.
G's.
Yeah, no, I mean, look, it's cleaner, it's faster.
Yeah, half the
masjid
is full.
Yeah, and everyone gets along. You get a donut in the morning too. It's just great, bro. Right? There's no panic. I can come like 10 minutes before the thing starts and not have to worry about parking. If you go with the other ones, you got to come like an hour before just to find parking. Like you spend more time walking to your car than actually in the salah and khutbah. So I prefer the morning one.
The morning ones are the best.
Yeah. And the real reason is the fashion show, dude. I can't stand it, bro. Like when there's all these, like they literally stand in front of like the men's entrance.
Yeah.
Perfume and it's just not. I gave up trying to even advise people like that. I'm like, listen, if they're gonna do it, I just won't show up for it.
Most of that stuff happens at the banquets now. It doesn't happen at the mosque.
I mean, at the later Jumu'ats.
I'm not saying it doesn't happen at all, Shaykh. I'm saying we're talking about the majority. Majority of the people, at least who come to the mosque, are pretty observant and have some level of decency. There are the people who have, for people who don't understand, there's Eid prayer. that is done at the mosque over here, and then there's people who organize Eid prayers at these, banquet halls and other large venues where you can accommodate larger people. To those specific areas, that's where a lot of Muslims who are generally not practicing, and they kind of want to demonstrate.
But the irony is that that's the sunnah.
Ornaments.
The irony is that's the better practice, to do it publicly and open. Yeah. You're not supposed to do it in the masjid. So the reason why more people are there is because that's the practice, right? It's not because the masjid is the holier one. No, it's just that more people come to that because it's supposed to be outside. It's supposed to be in public. So they attend that. It's a larger gathering.
I'm talking about banquet halls.
Talk about blanket halls, man.
I'm saying open areas. They're supposed to be outside the masjid, right? It's supposed to be somewhere other than the masjid in a public function, because it's supposed to be a day where the Muslims come out together openly outside the masjid.
Where the women and everyone could attend to.
It's supposed to be open, right? But the problem is that they don't. And in that function, it's not that I'm against women coming. The problem is that they don't want to dress appropriately. And it's not just the women. There are men who go for that too, and they encourage one another to be like, mingling and talking, and it's just, I don't like it, bro. Right? I think that one day, bro, like I just want to pray my salah, glorify my Lord, and go home, bro. I don't know. It's just annoying to me. Like, really, this is the day that you come to do this. Like, you can go to any other, event or whatever, and it's not like you don't
go to
already.
The club.
They already do. It's like another morning club for them. It's like the pre-party. You know what I mean? Like, why? You know what I mean? Like, it just annoys me to the point where I just don't want to see it anymore.
So, Sajjad, you're from the East Coast. Do you have this problem? Do the Muslims over there?
I mean, I think. Now, are you talking about just women who are dressing up like?
Really dolled up.
No. I'm not worried about the dressing up part. You want to dress up and go to the women's side? No problem. I'm talking about the ones that dress up and they're like. They all and the men, the ones who are all the same way dressing up, and they're mingling right in front of the entrance.
It's like an isna. It's like an isna,
right?
Like the bazaar, right?
I think it's probably a universal thing. I mean, I can't say like it doesn't happen in certain pockets. I think it just
I mean,
how did you like Eid East Coast versus here in Chicago?
We've had good experiences in both places. I mean, I think we're fortunate when you talk about good, efficient, like Eid khutbahs or khutbahs in general. A lot of times we go to Shaykh Muhammad al-Shanawi, who has it down to a science. He does 20 minutes, start to finish, when he does his Jummah khutbahs. And Eid khutbahs, he's pretty on top of it too. And we have big open, especially when the weather is good, we go out in the park and stuff, just kind of like you did. And,
have you been to that MetLife Stadium before, where they do it?
No, I haven't.
That's a massive one in New York.
New York. Right?
Yeah. The MetLife Stadium. They get like massive. I think that's where FSC. I'm sorry, he did it over there. Yeah, I think. But
I think there's that fine line. Like as Muslims, you want to be. It's a joyous occasion too, right? Eids are, and you want to celebrate, and you want people to be in a good mood. So, that's where I agree with you. The Eid khutbah shouldn't be like a downer,
Totally. But it shouldn't be haram either.
40-minute.
The khatib's not doing that, bro. The khatib's not like. He's talking about the khatib, bro. Okay,
well, I'm sorry.
You're done with your rant. We felt it. It hit our heart. We understand.
Oh, it hit your heart?
Oh, yeah.
Hopefully it'll affect your actions, Shaykh Amr.
I mean. Yeah, man.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, look, I'm not. Look, if I don't, I'm not here to judge the intentions of people. Maybe some don't know. Whatever it is, maybe it's a cultural whatever. I just don't appreciate it, so I prefer to go to the morning.
No, it's good, bro. Right? You have for your deen, bro. It's all good.
No, I just have protection. I just don't like the annoyance. Yeah. To be honest, the biggest thing is having to deal with all the people around you, like the parking. And,
you don't like people very much, do you?
No, it's not that. I don't like dealing with people I don't know.
I see.
Right, like unnecessary, like add on. Like I have to zigzag through the thing. I mean, bro, when it's like the packed one, right? You have to zigzag your way outside the masjid to avoid either like seeing all these beautiful women or bumping into them or like just trying to get to your car or people standing there. It's just so much extra.
Yeah.
Right?
And traffic flow.
I like it though. I know Mort doesn't like it, but I like bumping into people I haven't seen in 10, 15 years. Oh. It's always like...
he was talking bumping into women. He said
that's his fitna, bro. That's not a trial that I'm afflicted with, mashallah. But mashallah, I know how to zigzag my way out without.
You got to know the science, bro.
Yeah,
I haven't mastered that yet.
Mashallah.
I'm still waiting on it.
At least they're beautiful women. More.
May Allah help you.
You know what I mean?
You at least got to give them that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, women are beautiful, right? I mean, like, can't argue that. Yeah. By the way, I just it's been a couple weeks since we recorded, right? I think, right?
Yeah.
So I actually do want a rare moment here. I want to actually issue an apology.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Rare moment here.
It was brought to my attention that our last episode I came off as very insensitive.
Which episode was this?
Talking about
what? You're like insensitive every episode.
Wait, it's every episode.
About the Ocean Gate, the whole thing. Like I was joking.
Oh, that was messed up. But that's you though. That's who you are.
No, so let me.
There's a boulder inside your chest.
Foremost, no, listen. It's. This is the way I deal with things that are tragic.
Yeah.
I make light of them.
Yeah, I know.
It's just the way that I am. But I think I'd probably do that off the show. Because people who don't know the show and don't know me could probably think I'm just a big a-hole who's making fun of people that died.
But now people know how you really are. Like, you're the same, off camera and in camera.
That's true, but I just want to... But since they don't know that, I just want to communicate that I'm not making fun of dead people.
Well, I mean, did you actually make fun of dead people, though?
No, but I was. It wasn't dead people. It was the event. Like, I mean, how the thing was crushed and... stuff like that. There certainly
Passively.
was. Yeah, I mean, it was like about the whole event, right? I mean, how it happened. And it's just, it's just the way, because even people I deal with, like, that's the way they also deal with tragedy. Yeah. And I was getting memes and things like that, and that's how
But what was up with all the memes for this specific one? It's insane. The memes are still going.
Because it's tragic, but it's also, like, it's so bizarre that it's almost comical. It's so bizarre.
So I gave it a lot of thought. I was like, why is this particular tragedy so funny to people? And first of all, it's because
it's shameless, bro. The amount of memes.
Well, one of them is one of the most important reasons is that they're really rich people, right? Really rich people doing a foolhardy adventure. Like, really, at least from the outsider perspective, the Titanic is not that interesting. You're seeing a wreckage of. And you're risking what,
Yeah.
And you're going with a Ocean Gate company that made you sign an agreement saying that you are agreeing to go on a submersible that is not certified by any recognized institution, and that that the risk is death, and it's explicitly mentioned in the contract, and they're signing off on that.
I think I'm not so worried about the billionaire part. Like, I'm not. I don't hate billionaires, right?
I'm not saying you.
No. I know.
In general.
No, sure. I'm saying, but my thing was like, it's so bizarre that, like, billions of dollars, and the thing that you want to do is see the Titanic. It's already been looted now. It's been taken. I mean, everything's gone from it, right? And then on top of that, let's say it is your passion. Let's say these random 4 billionaires, they just love the Titanic, right? They saw the movie and they got, like, moved by the Titanic and they wanted to see it in person.
What's so funny?
Right?
Because he would just apologize for he's going to do it again.
No, I'm not. I'm being a genuine answer here. Listen, I just find it so bizarre that billionaires would, even the type of submarine that it is, right? Like, they're sitting on, like, this mat. You know what I mean? Like, across, like, Indian style on this mat to go down, like, 1,200 to 12,000 feet. Like, it's just bizarre to me that, and I think that's why people also get it. And plus, also the guy, the CEO who was in there, like, the testing that he did, and how, like, people were like, hey, the engineers were like, this is not gonna work, and he still goes, yeah, it's gonna work, and he goes, like, it's so bizarre, like.
Yeah, well, and there's, like, so many quotes of his. People don't know, like, some of the comedy that's just leading up to this tragedy, that the CEO is, like, saying, you know what, after a certain point, you have to realize, like, you can't worry about safety too much. Think just stupid quotes like that. Like, who? Wait, what do you mean you can't worry about safety too much?
I thought at first the PlayStation controller thing was a joke, bro.
No,
that's what I thought.
The PlayStation controller was another.
I thought that was a parody when I saw that clip.
Bro.
No, I know. I'm saying at first.
Yeah, and that's why people are making. And listen, and also check this out. This
people
guy,
are making what? What happened?
They were making fun of it. But listen, this is also another thing is that he hired, like, college kids to save money on, like, engineering and design. That's why it couldn't be certified, because these are, like, kids that were making things that are carbon fiber. Yeah. like it's just bizarre. Like when you put all of it together, you're like, what do you think was gonna happen? Like, this is a disaster waiting to happen,
big blunder,
right?
Bro.
So it's not more about the people that are dying. Like, I feel bad for that. I feel bad for the
that one picture of the dad and the son laying together.
So sad, bro.
Yeah,
that ripped my heart. That just made me think of me and my son, bro. Totally. Oh my god, dude.
And then to find out the kid didn't actually want to go.
I couldn't watch a single meme the same anymore. I just, like, I couldn't laugh at it about anything anymore.
And then to find out the kid didn't want to go, he wanted to make his dad happy,
so sad.
right? His mother was supposed to go originally, whatever, right? And like the stuff, I mean, it's tragic, right? But just the whole thing leading up to it is so bizarre that you can only laugh at it. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah, inshallah, you know. I mean, he's a Muslim, and so we ask Allah to give him Jannah for him. But it's just it's so bizarre that you can't help but laugh sometimes. It's so bizarre. No, I mean, that's just how it is, right? Like all these things that they were warned about, right? And he still does it, and it's like this. It's like, you know what it's like almost, the CEO of this Ocean Gate, he's like Austin, you know, the mini-me, like, you know, like, it should be done, you know, like he's this crazy guy, like, who's gonna just do it, he doesn't care what anybody says, right? It's kind of what it is, right? Like, I don't care about all the warnings, I don't care about anything, I'm gonna build it, I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna, like Trump, right? I'm gonna build a wall, it's gonna be the best wall ever, who cares what anybody says, and here's this Mexican guy, he's like chainsawing through it, like nothing, you know what I mean? Like, doesn't matter, it's gonna work just fine, right? Like, it's like, it's comical like that, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not, you know, it's not in the sense that people died. Yeah. And I hope people get that. It's not that, you know, that.
Let's talk about something else. No, this is...
Yeah. Well, shortly, or how long
French
ago?
Fries.
About 3-4 days ago. The French fries country that invented French fries, I guess, has had its regular yearly riot, I guess. This time it happened as a result of a 17-year-old Algerian origin Muslim teenager who got shot as he ran away from a police checkpoint. I have tried to reach out to a few different French Algerian activists who are well informed about this. Fortunately, they don't speak English that well, but I'm continuing to reach out to people who are more informed about the conditions that Muslims in France live in, especially, you know, the Algerian origin and the black Muslims as well. Now, you know, obviously we've always had this sentiment, even during the George Floyd riots, that, you know, rioting is bad. I mean, it hurts local businesses from investing in your area. You're kind of shooting yourself in the foot. I'm not condemning the rioters. I don't have a right to. I don't know the conditions they live in. I have no right to say that. Even during the George Floyd riots, I'm like, I refuse to condemn. I only said, hey, don't burn down the small business owners and stuff like that. If you want to target someone, hurt the big major corporations. You know, if you want to hurt their infrastructure, go ahead, go after that. You know, but in terms of the small business owner and the average you know, American, just leave them out of it, you know. And similarly with the rioting in that's happening in France, when you riot, you cause apprehension among business owners to reinvest in your areas again. What does that happen? What happens when a grocery store gets burned down, and now that the entire neighborhood that relied on that grocery store to be there loses access to it, and nobody wants to invest there again? Yeah, you know, I mean, so you have to understand that, you know, while you know, you want to be in support of the injustices that are happening towards these minorities, whether it's in America or elsewhere, you have to realize, like, rioting is not the solution to what you're trying to attain. You know, when you're trying to get justice, burning down your own infrastructure, especially, you're not going off into Paris, the middle of Paris, in the affluent districts who are the main perpetrators, who are the main beneficiaries of your persecution, where there's the most, you know, income, wealth inequality. I mean, I could understand that, you know, but you're destroying your own neighborhoods.
Yeah.
So I will say, though, rioting like this is very normal in France, not just for Muslims or Algerians or blacks, even French themselves.
Right. Yeah.
It's because this is la liberté, you know, like they love this thing, like, oh, we're gonna just riot and overthrow everything. And like, if you guys remember that Green Vest Party, whatever it was, I mean, the movement, they were just rioting everything. Like, people were rioting in the street, white people, like white French.
Rioting is French as like American Pie is to Americans, you know?
It's
or apple pie.
It's as French as.
But has it always been this bad though? Like the type of.
I mean, look at the French Revolution. This is
Yeah,
how
they're
it's all
violent.
started. This is they encourage revolution in that sense. You know.
Can you elaborate on the situation? I haven't followed it too close.
So basically, a French teenager who was stopped at a checkpoint.
Why would they have checkpoints?
So they have checkpoints in the under the slums or the
certain areas where they're driving through their checkpoints. And what happened
areas.
was the kid pulled over, and they stopped him. They wanted him to come out of the car. He didn't want to come out, so he just starts driving off, and they shot him dead. Right? They were alleging that he actually tried to run over the police officers, but he didn't. He was just driving off.
Yeah.
They
so they have checkpoints in like high crime areas, or just like
they were alleging that the kid out has a criminal record. I don't know if that's true or not.
Right.
But I'm saying even if that 17-year-old kid has a criminal record for driving off from a traffic stop, which is what this is a traffic infraction, right? You're just being pulled over. You don't shoot somebody, right? I mean, I'm not saying that the kid is perfect. He's an angel. I don't know him. He could be, Allahu Alam. But all I'm saying is even if he was guilty of something, I think there's just such a bad mismanagement, right? Like, okay, you've got a checkpoint. Well, what have you done to make sure that cars don't move away when your cops are going up to them?
Yeah.
Like, why didn't you take that precaution? You left it open. A delinquent or criminals would probably run off, right? I mean, so what have you done if you're really serious about a checkpoint, like what have you done, right? Like, it just doesn't make sense to me that you haven't secured the location. And then naturally a kid, maybe he's terrified. Maybe he's had run in with the laws before he took off, right? Whatever. Not a smart move, but he does it, right? But
checkpoints are intimidating to begin with. You know?
Yeah.
Like,
they are.
Even if you're not a criminal or anything, you feel this.
Like, I would say, to be honest, if he got roughed up, I would say, hey, man, that's his fault. He shouldn't have ran from the checkpoint. I can see that happening, right?
It's understandable why.
Understandable what's going on, right? But to shoot somebody point blank, a 17-year-old kid, after you had a conversation with this kid, like even if he said "F you, bro," whatever in French or whatever they speak in French, right? But
they speak French in France.
Whatever it is, that language. But it sounds like whatever. But listen, he probably said something to him, whatever. I'm sure because they don't respect cops. Yeah. Even that, your job as a cop is to uphold law, and you cannot be emotional, right? I think that applies for cops here too. If you are exercising, power to control the situation, to enforce a law, sure. But when you go over it and start shooting
it's
people...
It's all about de-escalation.
But
especially if I can mention
people,
one thing. Look, dude, in Egypt, on the weekends especially, they used to have these checkpoints. It's a normal thing in the Muslim world. Checkpoints are normal. But checkpoints to make sure that the taxi drivers and the people have like their registration. Right. And what they do is if the person usually doesn't, or they do, they're like, oh, this is outdated, and they just want bribery a lot of the time. Sometimes they're nice people.
Bakshish.
Bro, I'd just be a passenger. I have nothing to do with the car.
Yeah.
And I'd feel nervous,
anxious,
bro.
Yeah.
I'd feel anxious, exactly. And I have nothing to do with anything there. Yeah. Just a checkpoint that you wait. It's the anticipation. Wait, what is he going to say? All that, and you're like, oh, great, what's going to happen? Even though nothing is really going to happen. They just want bribery. Yeah. But even that, even though you know nothing is going to happen, it still has anxiety attached to it pretty heavily sometimes. And it just sucks because you got to wait. And this kid, this kid's 17 years old. His brain is not even complete yet, bro. He has no idea what's happening. He's just prefrontal cortexing it all the way through, bro. And if he's 17 years old, what do you expect is going to happen to a 17-year-old kid and supposedly a criminal? You think he's just going to be like, hey, officers, how you doing? Parlez-vous français? Merci beaucoup.
Oui, oui.
Merci beaucoup. They're not going to be like that.
By the way, though, when I heard about this going on, there's actually a great movie on Netflix called Athena.
Yeah.
Athena.
And I was thinking about, oh my God, is this Athena unfolding in real life?
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you see that movie?
Yeah, I didn't see it, but I started it.
Phenomenal movie, bro. I love that movie. I saw it
a
while ago. It has nothing to do with the name. It does, but you wouldn't think it's that kind of movie when you hear the name. Such a great movie.
Clean too?
For the most part.
Got it.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it's an hour and a half. About,
okay.
Yeah, roughly.
Watch it, guys. It's really, and it tell me that this is not Athena playing out. Like it's crazy.
Are you guys watching Black Mirror on Netflix?
No.
None of you guys watched Black Mirror?
The title doesn't make sense to me. Black Mirror?
Yeah,
I've seen an episode or two. Yeah,
you've seen it. It's Well, they just got a new season out.
No.
Basically, it's kind of like, you remember the Twilight Zone or the Outer Limits when we were young.
Outer Limits is crazy. Yes.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. It's kind of like that, but for a modern era. So you're watching something that is kind of talking about where technology is leading us and how, like, it's more an exaggerated version of what is happening right now. Like, for example, there's this one episode where there's like a social credit system where everyone is on, every interaction of yours gets graded, and you have like a social credit score that you're working. So you're being extra nice to people.
No, so China did something like that?
does,
exactly.
Yeah.
And this was before China actually rolled that policy out. But this is like really obvious. Like you have interaction at Starbucks, or maybe you bump into someone and your phone syncs with them and says, "Hey, this is who you interacted with. How do you rate their..."
Like, it's like a personal Yelp review.
Oh,
yeah.
Jeez. Forget that, bro.
Like, you get like
That's
3
scary.
stars.
But yeah, so there's an entire episode just like that.
So all these
Wait,
episodes
is this the one
disconnected?
that we watched together? The one episode where it was like the drone with the mouse or whatever.
No, that was the other one.
Okay.
That was the animated. It's kind of like that though. That's more
That was
of an
cool.
animation.
But is the Black Mirror, is this being like they're not all like continuation series? It's like they're all separate.
Yeah,
from
the
each other?
independent stories that
Independent stories, got
are with new actors and stuff. This new season, they got like really big name actors.
So it's like it's almost like skits, right? That have like 15, 20 minutes or whatever. Max.
They're about an hour long
Oh, okay.
stories,
All right.
and some of them just really
Did you
mess
say
with your
this is
head.
season 5?
Yeah, this is, I think, season 5. But I mean, there's not that many episodes every season. It's like sometimes it's like 6 episodes a
Got
season
it.
or something like that.
Seems so tedious. For every episode, you have a new set of people.
Well, that's a cool thing. There's so little commitment. You're not like
It ends within 1 hour. You're done.
the story's wrapped up, and then a new story starts where it's
No,
completely
I'm talking
different.
about production. I'm talking about production-wise.
No, they probably have multiple stories, and they just compile it into a season, right? I mean, it's like writing an episode for a sitcom, right?
Yeah, season 6 is
I've been actually busy with Witcher.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's I gotta start that.
Yeah, so I watched that.
The
Witcher, yeah.
But you know, when you bring up, I know you guys talked about before with AI and stuff, but like it does frighten me a lot. Like when I think about just how much cell phones have changed behavior in general. Like you walk into, like if I'm at work, I go to the cafeteria. There's a group of 6 people. Everyone's on their cell phone. No one's talking.
Yeah.
And like how common that is now, right? Like it's integrated into your life so much, and that it's amazing that technology changes people's behavior that much and that quickly. It happened that quickly. And you have to have all these rules for your children because all these, you know, with social media, there's all this stuff about anxiety and depression and all suicides, even all that stuff. And with AI and how quickly I think it's going to come on in the next couple of years, it frightens me. I don't know.
The description is that one of the I can't remember who it was, but it was a really smart person. One of the founders of, is it Amazon? I can't remember. But he said this is. They asked him, like, describe how big of an invention it is. He said this is a bigger invention than the wheel.
Ooh, that's a nice answer.
Wow.
It's a
Than the
beautiful
wheel
answer.
itself. You'd think like, oh, it'd be the internet that he would. He said it's like people can't even understand. They can't even wrap their minds around how big of an invention this is.
I can believe that though. I mean, when you talk about what it can do and what it can offer, I mean, it's limitless. Like it's literally going to impact every single aspect of human life. Yeah. How you interact with your family, with your loved ones, with your coworkers, with the kind of work that you do, how the service industry, the medical industry, everything that you touch will have an influence from AI in it. Everything. I don't know of another invention that.
It was a Google CEO. He said,
"Oh yeah,
AI is more important than fire or electricity."
But by the way, check this out. Someone wrote in the chat. I had no idea how cool is this. Actually, the lawyer for the Riots family played in the Athena movie.
Wow!
How crazy!
Wait,
is
the
that?
lawyer for who?
The lawyer for the family, for the kid who died. they were an actor in that movie Athena. Isn't that crazy? Wow.
Insane.
I gotta watch Athena.
I don't know if that's true, but if it is, pretty
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah.
That's insane. Definitely on my watch list. But you guys, your watch list should be Black Mirror. Every season just outdoes the other season. It's so insane.
I mean,
You know,
what
like,
worries me, like when I'm sorry to cut you off, like when so like why do people exercise today? It's because we have so much abundance of food and our lifestyle. You know, a lot of us sit at our jobs and stuff like that. So you have to artificially, you know, do what humans have done forever, right? Just being active,
yeah.
and just you know doing manual labor. And so you have to artificially recapitulate what you would do to stay in shape. And I feel like AI is going to decimate our brain. Like I feel like you're going to have to artificially kind of like engage with this world.
Oh wow.
Otherwise, you're just going to be a puddle. Like
practice having conversations.
Yes. No.
Instead of going to the gym, like you know how you practice like walking around.
Have you interacted with young people? I honestly.
They're drones, bro.
I sometimes have medical students and stuff. In my last so many years, there's one student who stood out because she was normal, like the way she interacted, the engagement she had. It was just so different, and people are just not. I mean, maybe I'm painting too wide over a brush, but like,
I agree.
You have to really work on.
But you're
these
dealing
skills.
with intelligent people. That's very important. That input is very important.
I
you're dealing with intelligent
because
people.
Don't knock over that thing. Listen, so yeah, I mean, when you see young kids today, like they'll be out in the restaurant, they're not even talking to anymore. They're just like in the phone.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
That's all they do. Sit there and go like this, and Snapchat the food.
Yeah.
Go back to the thing.
Yeah.
I never got used to that,
and then a quick
bro.
smile for the thing, and then they go back to dead face.
Yeah.
I just think I'm just old school, bro. I never got used to the whole thing. Okay, let's take a picture of the food. I hate when people do that.
I just want to eat it, bro. Like, why would I want to show people? Like, who cares?
No, but there's actually people that hold it up, bro. Like, hold up people getting into the food because they want to take a picture.
I read this thing today where
pictures of food.
this person took a picture of her food, and then after the picture, this other person says she just threw it in the trash. It was literally just for the picture to post on social media.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking about a business idea, to be honest. It's common. Like, they have studios that you can rent out per shot for these Instagram, whatever, Snapchat influencers. So, like, let's say they want to act like they're on a jet life, right? Living that jet life, right? They literally have a room like this where they have like a little circle window and a nice luxury leather chair, and you can sit there and act like you're on a private jet,
right?
And take a picture. And they pay like $200-300 for the shot.
Streets of Woodfield has a shop.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Woodfield, really?
I was there yesterday, and across from like this, it was just a place you go into to take pictures and.
But you know what's crazy to me? The fact that store exists is nuts. But what's even crazier to me is that people don't feel embarrassment walking in there doing it.
Yeah, but like, why would they just use a filter or something?
Because the filter doesn't look real, bro. This looks real.
You can actually get pretty close with Photoshop.
That requires a lot of work, though. I get that. Yeah, you just go to
the
studio.
It's not as difficult anymore, bro.
Really?
No, but this shot is set up in a way where literally it looks like you're on the plane because the angle, like the window circle windows here, you're sitting on this luxury thing. It got the whole like oval thing on top. It looks like you're on the plane from the angle.
No
That's
need
the
for
whole
a background.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, maybe if you want to just Google like like a plane photo booth, whatever, you're gonna see what I'm talking about. Like you'll show Shaykh Amr. It just looks like pretty much.
No, I'll look it up. I know how to use Google.
You don't know how to use Google, bro.
Google and Yahoo.
We've been teaching this guy how to use Google for like 10 years. Bro.
I don't know how to use Google.
He doesn't know. Like we have to give him like search cues and like yo, look up this.
They did that to me once years ago, and they think
Am I lying, Sim?
No, sadly.
These two are very cahoots together. Yajuj and Majuj, bro. They go together, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just we have to help him because he didn't grow up in America. He grew up in Egypt and stuff. So that transition was hard. Yeah, watch. And you're gonna see. I mean, I'm sure Sajjad has seen it, but Shaykh Hamad doesn't see that.
Influencers are posing in fake private jets. We're questioning reality.
Like so, they'll put it on the side, like you sit there, and they'll take a picture. It looks like a plane, bro.
This is wow. This is the impetus right here. That's actually like. That we've gone mad on fakeness. Like we become so fake for impressing. What's the next step after this, bro?
Does that look real? Look at that picture.
Yeah, no, it is real, but I'm saying that people are willing to go and pay money for that to be in a fake place that looks
Sheikh
like it's real.
is it haram for me to open a business like this?
Dude, I don't Allahu Alam, bro, but I'm thinking of something else right now. Okay, I can't think of two things at once.
I want to make money off.
What is the next step after this? Sajjad, you brought this up. What's the next step after this, bro? What's the next madness? It's not going to be enough after a while.
You know, I was listening to this one podcast. I can't remember.
This one podcast other than the Mad.
And they talked about how AI is just going to allow for a lot of abundance, and there's going to be so much opportunities that you're going to have to focus on what your real purpose is. And I think that's where Islam is going to be. There's going to be a lot of people who are just going to leave religion altogether, and then there's going to be this huge void of people who are going to need Islam because we are the only religion that just like laser focus on what our purpose is.
I'm so sorry.
AI did that. AI did that.
I was like, what's going on, guys? We're talking about this. I'm all in. I'm zoned in.
But that's what I think. I think it's gonna be really scary. I mean, I don't know.
Alhamdulillah.
So I
Islam,
think what's going to happen though is that there's larger implications. I think religion will probably be the last part of it, but I think the people who are doing it, the intention for the good world people is that people will have more free time to do what they want to do, right? Because we'll be less boggled down with mundane things like driving to work or picking up your mail or picking up a package or whatever, or vacuuming your house, right? Things will be done this way through automation and AI. The problem, however, is that the reduction in amount of jobs and the type of jobs that will be available means that the government will need to somehow subsidize those individuals because not everybody can learn stuff around AI. Right. Not everybody has the same intellectual level or the same grasp of the concepts, general, right? Yeah. Or they're older, whatever it may be, right? So that would be the development of UBI, which is like universal basic income. And that is the idea that now you have a bunch of people. Who, by the way, the caveat though, maybe some of the silver linings are that the cost of living will drop. Why? Because a home, like let's say a 2,500 square foot home, that would have cost you right now maybe, depending what area, but let's say moderate, anywhere from $150,000 to $300,000 to build, right? In a mediocre area, right? Whatever. That same house can be printed 3D through AI, in the best, because they'll use AI to figure out what the best plot is, whatever, for like $30,000. And it'll be done much. That's right now at this current price, and it'll be done much quicker. You're talking about a house that would traditionally be built out of wooden, would take about 6 months to build. This house will be the rough, the structure and the roof and the rough, like plumbing and electrical, will be done within 24 hours.
No.
Yeah, they can print out a 3D house in 24 hours. The rough. I mean, they still have to finish it up, but let's say within a month you'd have a house. I mean, completely done.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, 3D printing, because it's all based on.
What do you think about, aside from the menial activities, the more sophisticated ones? Like I was talking to an architect recently. I was like, with AI and stuff like that, you could the task that it takes to become an architect, and like you're gonna design a building and make a model, you could do that stuff with AI, couldn't you? I mean, like
sure. I mean, you could say.
But then what happens to those people?
Instead of having an architect, you're going to say, you're going to... Actually, I think they would still be there because certain people have access to these tools. Yeah. Because AI depends on input, right? Now, two types of input. First of all, input to build what information it has access to in order to come up with a solution to whatever it is that you're querying. And then it has to have input to know what to query to figure out, like what keywords to search to then reference whatever information it has, right? Scan through the data it has available. So I think those keywords and concepts will come from high-level architects that have the money for this kind of software and access to it. And they will it'll be used in the tool belt to make phenomenal things. But the average architect won't have access to this, right? Certain firms will have the money to invest. Yeah. Others won't, and they'll wither off.
Yeah,
they'll die
that's
off,
true.
right? Like someone will say, you know what, I want the most. It cost me $30,000 to build 2,500 square foot home. I can buy, a guy who's a millionaire, like, I build a 50,000 square foot home. I want it to look unique as hell. I want a little bit of Mediterranean. I want a little bit of New Manhattan, whatever. And it'll put all the stuff into an AI, and it'll come up with the perfect concept, interior and exterior. And the architect will come back and be like, look, this is what I came up with. This is the design.
Yeah, that's crazy.
This is what the design is. Do you like it? No? All right, what more do you want to see? Okay, we'll go back and add some more keywords. And you know how people are making these images of like you in 2030 or whatever maybe? Same thing, bro. Yeah. It's going to generate images and ideas.
But you know what it's made me think of, because you were talking about human, what type of replacement AI is going to do for human beings, and what are people going to be like. Dude, you know what it really comes down to is the more advanced we get, the easier it is to become inhuman, right? And inhumane. And it's just the way, the direction, and then you couple the technology with avarice group of people, right? I'm talking about just the world now, where capitalism, people are very avarice. It's just, as long as it makes money, it makes sense, Eventually what happens is, like you mentioned, I firmly believe that you're going to have a group of Muslims, hopefully, make dua to all the Muslims, but the way the world generally works is it's a small group of people. Allah make us from amongst them. That's the only thing that gives you sanity. That's the only thing that you're able to see when everyone else is gone.
You know what I've always said? The concrete jungle can make you an atheist very easy, because you lose sight.
Yeah.
Everything around you is man-made. Yeah. The buildings, even the grass that you walk on is man-made. The sidewalk, the cars you drive, everything is out of nature. Meaning it's not
New
in
Jersey's
nature.
like that.
Huh?
New Jersey's like
New Jersey, New York, even downtown Chicago. This is all like, metropolises. They are extremely, they're concrete jungles.
A hyper fake world.
Everything is just, designed and constructed. Right? People who go out into nature, they may not have all the luxuries. People who live out in the farms, whatever, but they're very aware and connected of a higher being.
Yeah.
It's just the way it is, and that's why I believe even the Prophet himself would go out of Mecca.
Yeah, you're right.
It was the sunnah of the Anbiya to go outside of their metropolises, their major cities, and make that khalwa so they can have this kind of tadabbur, this reflection, this analytical thinking about what's my purpose, what am I here for, what am I doing, what's actually, and not only that.
What are they getting themselves into?
Right, what are they doing?
Yeah.
It's like stepping out, essentially stepping outside the box, seeing people from the bird's eye view. Well, wow, look at those people. They're so crazy. They're going off. Just everyone's running in that one direction for that one thing.
Yeah.
Is it really worth it? Wow, what are they doing? Right? And then you're able to kind of pull back, and kind of, you're not always falling for the fads. You're able to see people in their progress.
Seeing things for what they are.
Right? Like from what they wanted to what they have, and what's really what they wanted. All these things you can reflect on. Not just religiously, I'm saying, even in life. Like people that tend to observe and can be reflective, they oftentimes have more calculated decisions, more rational. They're able to, and more balanced in their views. People who live in these cities, a lot of times you find many of them compared to people outside the cities, people in the city are very impulsive. Yeah. Everything is like instant gratification.
Yeah.
I want Instacart. I want an Uber now. I want to get this now. I want to go do this. I want to get that to have that. Everything is instant.
Yeah, and when they have what's the average, especially in Chicago, I don't know about New York, people who live in the city, after I think their third kid, they move out of the city from downtown to like a farther on the outskirts.
It's just not sustainable.
It's not sustainable at all.
You can't.
It's meant for somebody who's young. Is meant for them who are able to do the act upon their impulses without thinking about too many responsibilities.
Yeah, not only that, not only is it the money thing, but that lifestyle consumes you.
Yeah.
Like you realize I spend my time living. Like I only have like a 900 square foot apartment.
Yeah.
I spend like $4,000 a month. Yeah. And I literally just work to pay my bills, and these non-Muslims, their fun is going after work to happy hour, getting smashed, and then finding their way back home and repeating the cycle over again. Maybe getting late on the way back, like on Tinder, right? Like that's how it works for them, right? And you realize that this life cycle is depressing.
Yeah, very.
There's nothing I can achieve. How long do I want to just live in this rat race?
If this is all your world, if this
no,
is
then
it,
you bring kids in.
yeah.
No, if you when you bring and that's what I'm saying. When even you bring one kid in, right? You're like, do I want my kid to have to go through this rat race? There's more to life than just doing this, right? Like there's more contentment than this.
Or it sucks that I had this kid now. He's reading all my phone.
Yeah. You know, I don't know.
Allah protect us, man.
I recently found this subreddit. I thought it was kind of funny. I wanted to share it with you guys.
Please.
It's called Muslim Marriage.
Oh,
and
nice.
there's some crazy stories in here that just made me laugh a lot. Some of them are genuinely sad stories.
How did you find this thread?
I was just looking up like Muslim subreddits just to see what's on. It's been a slow couple of weeks, other than the French riots, there wasn't a whole lot going on. So I'm like, let's see what's going on Reddit, see if there's any drama there.
The only thing that was interesting to me was the fact that they found cocaine in the West Wing. That's funny to me, bro.
Yeah, what was up with that, dude?
I think it's Hunter Biden, bro. He was getting coked up in the West Wing, bro. Probably, bro.
Wait, sorry, before you show that, did you watch Bet David and InfoWars guy?
Alex Jones?
Alex Jones?
No, I didn't see it.
I'm not gonna. You guys should watch it.
Alex Jones is always on crack, bro.
He's on crack, but Did
he take off his shirt on this one?
No.
Oh, okay.
80% of the stuff.
There's a lot of stuff that he says.
70% of the stuff he says is pretty accurate.
Yeah.
30% is just straight up. When it's loony, it's loony.
How did you come up with that number, though? Did you calculate, tally it up?
No, it's just you just gotta eyeball it. Gotta eyeball it. Yeah. So
blue eyeball it, huh?
No, but so I kind of respect this Patrick Bet David guy. Like, if I was like, all right, he had to really vet. Like, he has to see something Alex Jones bring on his podcast, right? Again, I'm not an Alex Jones supporter, but it was very entertaining. It was a cool podcast. I think
Alex Jones is entertaining.
He is.
Like, it's not that he's not entertaining. It's
but he brought up some stuff because when so I saw that thing. And
why don't you just tell us what he brought up? Because you seem very mesmerized
he brought up
by
the
Alex
cocaine
Jones.
thing.
Okay.
He brought up the cocaine and how one of the ways, and he has this and they're looking it up while he's talking because they didn't believe him, how they have to keep Biden awake and alive and just be able to talk in front of people to mitigate some of his dementia through cocaine.
They could just keep him
adrenaline. I saw this.
They could probably give him Ritalin or something.
So they could have.
Adderall,
they could have. But I think the hit, they don't need him there for 10 minutes and they need it strong.
Dr. Saab, what do you think? Do you think cocaine would be something? I mean, I think Joe Biden's heart would stop you giving cocaine to survive.
They probably have to engineer it. You've never done cocaine before?
Microdose.
You guys never done cocaine before?
They're giving him a cocktail of like a little cocaine and injection of adrenaline to keep him alive or something. Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
Cocaine is more than enough. You don't need any extra adrenaline. Tell him, doctor. Tell him about cocaine.
As long as you snort it.
That's all that matters.
Yeah. All right, so let's go back to your subreddit.
All right.
Papa Bear.
Are you a member of that subreddit, by the way?
No, I'm not.
Oh, are you going to join after this wonderful?
I think I should.
Yeah. Let me know. I might join in. I have a Reddit that I don't even really. I have an account that I don't really use. I just made the app because they always send me stuff, but I don't know who to follow and what to like actually subscribe to.
Oh, there's so much fun stuff.
Yeah, I'm sure there is.
For me, it always comes with Google when I search something. Reddit is one of the things.
Well, Reddit,
Reddit
is not just known for like their communities. It's about the fun part about is actually reading the comments because they're all like just little wisecracks
but I believe some of the most intelligent people that are on any platform from the searches that I do in Google and it takes me to Reddit, dude, some of these people are on Reddit, bro. Some of those intelligent human beings, bro.
Yeah, the high quality posts.
When you look at this like IT stuff and like business analyst stuff and like people who are just breaking down things, I was like, bro, these guys are geniuses, bro.
I love comments like Sim, bro. I go watch YouTube videos and I have more fun reading comments than the actual content of the video.
Yeah, but like YouTube comments tend to be just so like vanilla.
Yeah,
like
first.
No, but a lot of the stylistically, like a lot of the people who comment on YouTube, they've actually taken that style from Reddit and they brought it over to YouTube.
In some areas, some YouTube videos, but generally, like if you look at a subreddit and you see the comments, usually like you'll see the high quality posts that are coming up, and it's so funny too. There's a lot of funny comments that are related to even serious subjects or. There's really intelligent comments.
No, I remember. You introduced me to a lot of the political stuff that was happening. You're like, go to this subreddit right here. And the politics was crazy.
Remember like the Syrian civil war?
Yes.
So there were like, during the Syrian civil war, there were all these like different factions. Yeah. Okay? So it was so funny to see because you see all these kids in America, in the West, who have like these little factions within Syria that they're behind. Yeah. So they're like supporters of some commander. They don't know much about it.
Right. Deep research that no one else knows about.
But they're like know all the movements and all the. It was so intriguing to see and funny at the same time because I mean I know it's a tragic war where a lot of people, but
the investment
they invested like all this like time and effort into making everyone know about what is exactly happening.
They're not Muslim. Majority of them are not Muslim. They're not Muslim. They're not Muslims either.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Just kids who are talking about.
No, some of it's magical, bro.
Ahrar al-Sham and Jabhat Nusra. I'm like, how the hell do you guys know this stuff?
Yeah, bro.
And
none of the Muslim organizations.
No, and they were talking about the rifts that happened between generals. And back in 2009, he did this, and like, what the hell, bro? Like, you're only a white kid in the basement.
He looked at my wife on Eid.
We can't get away with that stuff.
Yeah, in all kinds of silly fights happen.
So what is this subreddit called? I'm actually eager to know.
It's called Muslim marriage. But some of them are genuinely serious subjects. But there's some fun stuff I saw.
Husband isn't attractive.
My husband isn't attractive. Is one of these. So my husband constantly gives me the ick. He's a grown man who always makes ugly faces, makes inappropriate and really annoying sounds, farts around me all the time, and then acts like he doesn't know what the sound was. Literally did it as I was typing this out. He's just so obnoxious, and no matter how many times I tell him it's unattractive and a turn off, he doesn't care. I don't think he cares what I think of him, and that's why he continues to do it. It gets on my last nerves, but then I'm left feeling bad for him for telling him because I feel like I'm being mean. But please tell me I'm not crazy for getting bothered by him.
What advice do you have,
Sheikh, what's your advice to the sister? Sister asked a beautiful question, as Zakir Naik says.
Well, Islamically, you're allowed to lie to your spouse about their. Remember, we talking about lying.
Yeah.
about.
So he should say that I didn't fart.
No,
he's okay for
attractiveness.
that?
Attractiveness.
Oh, okay.
So what you think? I love your farts.
No, look, dude. If this is what the situation of the guy is, look, the real advice is this is who you married, bro. Like, this is who you're gonna have to stay with for the rest of your life.
Not true.
Yes, it is.
You can divorce.
Who's gonna divorce?
I mean, he can khula. I mean,
no, she can ask for a khula,
yeah.
but he doesn't have to grant it to her.
It's America, okay?
Yeah. If you want to do it that way, if you want to do it like that, you can.
Wait, hold on.
But this is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of jokiness to that, but what it is look, he's showing you himself. This is who you married. You married a big giant goofball, bro, right? And that's who he is. Now, that may not be attractive. That's true. I would suggest obviously get some counseling or whatever, like marriage counseling. But look, there's other things about your husband that have to bring you to love him than this.
You know what I think you should do? She should just fart in front of him, just rip it in front of him.
She probably does.
And then like he'll be like, "Oh my god!"
No, she didn't have a problem with it. She had a problem with him acting like he didn't know what the sound was.
But then do the same thing, and then he'll be like, "Oh, what was that?" And he's like, "I don't know," and then he'll realize how stupid, how turn off it is.
Well, he'll probably get turned on by it.
No,
knowing him by the sound of the story.
Here's another one. Let's see.
Dude, that's who she married, bro. What's she gonna do now?
What if she didn't know? He's a big fart ball.
Got married 2 months ago, and my husband has been checking out Muzmatch. Is this cheating? What do I do now? All right, sister. This doesn't require a scholar, but I don't think he's totally into you.
No, but what if it's just the old account that was up?
No. It looks like she's saying that when he got into the shower, I saw he had his email open, and my heart sank because the first email was a notification that he had signed into Muzz, and I searched for Muzz and found 20 emails similar emails after our marriage. That means he had been signing in and out multiple times a week. At first I was shocked, then I just froze. I didn't know how to handle the situation. I downloaded the software. We carried on with our morning routine, went to work, and came back home. I have no idea how I made it through the day. I felt like I was going to be sick. Later that evening, he said I was acting distant and asked her what was wrong. Have you been using Muzz? She asked. Of course not. You're lying to me.
Muzz? Have you been using Muzz?
Yeah, I think they had to rename their thing because they copied their name out after Match.com.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I remember you guys mentioning that.
Little copycats. Yeah. got busted. So the
really
judge.
Copycat.
No, she used their interface.
The logo
it's
and
pretty
like
much
that.
Even the interface and everything is like pretty much copy.
But anyway, so you've been using Muzz. No, I haven't been using Muzzy.
So he's like, "You're lying." She's like, "You're lying to me." What do you mean? I saw your emails. He kept denying it until I demanded that he pull out his laptop. Then he burst into tears. He told me he had difficulty lowering his gaze, but only loved and wanted me. He said he swiped left on every profile and didn't talk to anyone.
I swiped left. It's okay.
He begged for my forgiveness and asked what he could do to rebuild my trust. I told him my trust was shattered beyond repair.
I love this.
He then offered to give me the passwords for his Muzz email and all social media accounts to prove he wasn't talking to anyone. He promised to delete his Muzz soon after. I kept quiet, but he wrote his passwords on a piece of paper and gave it to me. I didn't touch it. For all I know, he has other accounts he's hiding. He kept crying and begging for my forgiveness. I was just dumb and quiet.
I mean, this is sad though, but to be honest, I could see this happening a lot now.
Oh, it's happening a lot, dude.
Right?
I don't know what to do. A part of me doesn't know whether to believe he was just looking. No, he wasn't just looking. Should I get an STI test? Maybe. And even if he's telling the truth, does this count as cheating? I'm absolutely devastated. I would never have expected something like this from him. He's only been a wonderful husband. Otherwise, he's my first love. I've left my family home to live with him. I dreamt of many decades of happiness with him. Is this a sign up from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to leave before I get even more attached or kids come into the picture? Should I forgive him? How can I?
Wait, how long were they married?
2 months.
Yeah, 2 months.
Oh,
that's a problem, though.
Yeah, that's a major.
No, listen, hold on. First of all, she just made a huge mistake, flagrant mistake, by
revealing his sins to the public.
By imagining she's going to live a happy marriage life forever and puppies.
But this is 2 months of the marriage, Shaykh.
I know. Listen.
Shaykh, you didn't think that you were going to have a happy marriage when you got married?
Listen, dude.
No, hold on. Did you think you were going to be happily married when you got married?
No, I just knew I was going to be married, bro.
Get the hell out of here!
You think I think of marriage? I'm like, whoo! I know.
Yeah, you probably. Well, you should have been like, who? What do you think? You just got. Oh yeah.
No, it's life,
it's
bro.
Cool.
I got married.
No, it's life.
No, I think most people. I mean, especially girls are gonna think they're gonna be like.
Of course.
You think it's a fairy tale.
Yeah.
Kind of.
So
hold on, guys. Just because I'm serious doesn't mean I'm not joking, bro.
Let's be very clear. Hold on. Let's be very clear before you go on your little Islamic rant. Okay, let's go on very clear here. Okay, the guy messed up 2 months into a relationship.
That's stupid.
It's just dumb, bro.
Yeah.
Like it's absolutely
but it's Muzz
dumb
match.
and stupid.
It's not Tinder, bro. It's Muzz match.
Same thing, bro.
No, it's not.
You can smash and grab all you want.
Not at the same level of Tinder.
Dude, can you please explain this guy that
it
people
happens,
want to smash?
It happens, but not nearly as much as Tinder.
No, it's not Tinder.
What that dude was doing, because I know guys that I know Muslim guys that are married that have Tinder accounts that are totally okay with talking about it during dinner, and I know I swear to God, and I know Muslim guys that are on Muzz match, and I know what they do on Muzz match.
Wait, hold on. There's guys that talk
Muslim come from practicing families
of their wives.
No, in front of the dudes. They shouldn't do that anyway.
Probably looking for a second wife.
No. They smash. They smash.
Wow.
Yeah. This is a normal thing now. This is normal.
I mean, I agree with what you're saying, but also it's problematic too because that emotional connection is pretty bad too, right? Like if you're going on Muzz to just connect with someone, you just married a woman 2 months ago,
and you're not smashing every night, bro,
and you're not spending any effort.
I get it. Yeah. No, dude, I get it. It's very immature. It's ridiculous. But what I'm saying is, this guy just got a taste of a woman, most likely, or maybe he dated before and his wife doesn't know about it, and he just he just wants to see what's out there. He needs more adventure. He needs more of a dopamine hit. So what does he do? He goes on Muzz match and sees who's there. And if you really think about it, bro, this guy is probably so immature. He just got married. He's probably looking for a second wife already, right? Look, who goes to Muzz match? Think about it, guys. Who goes to Muzz match to smash, bro?
No, what if he's having second thoughts?
No, it's only 2 months. He doesn't know what he's doing yet, bro.
I think that's the problem. That it's 2 months. It's only gonna get. You would imagine it only gets worse.
No. What if
it's immaturity? Complete immaturity.
Could be right, bro. Listen, what if the guy smashes and you know what? He's like, this girl isn't what I thought it was, right? And I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying. So Sim was like, man, he's probably thinking like, well, what other options did I have? You know what I mean?
So the crying and the tears are just out of embarrassment? Is that all it is?
Probably, or no. He probably actually does care about her.
Of course he does.
But maybe he's not in the attractive way.
Maybe.
Because there's things more than just you now, your family and all that stuff,
course.
right? So, but
Look,
I mean, look, my thing is this though. I think you just royally messed up.
Oh, that's stupid.
And to
2
be honest,
months?
like trust being broken this early, it's very unlikely that it can last. I mean,
It's
there are a
not.
few people who,
It's
I
very
mean,
difficult.
that maybe they might come out of it, but like that early on, where the whole, like if your wife is gonna be doubting you from like day one now, almost, right?
Yeah.
Like that's hard.
But do you don't find this funny? No, look, this is the part I find funny. You guys talked about the submarine and all that. This is the part I find funny. Out of all the places where he could have been looking for, it was Muzz match. It's a Muslim thing that he got busted with.
Well, maybe he's looking for a second wife, Shaykh.
Okay, so then that was not that much of a mess up then.
Well, it is for her. Because,
For her, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course, it sucks for
because
her.
it is a mess up. Because if he wanted to, he'd just be honest.
I'm talking about on
So-
an Islamic level, okay, guys?
Look, for her, at least from her perspective,
Yeah.
if that was my daughter, I would say, there's no kid in the picture, bounce.
I mean, 2 months is honeymoon.
Yeah, no kids?
2
yeah,
months is
2 months.
honeymoon.
2 months. You're supposed to be like goo goo gaga over each other. You know.
Yeah. The
You're
honeymoon
looking
phase.
for excuses.
You're a bunch of losers.
looking-
you guys
yeah.
are Goo Goo Gaga for the first 2 months?
You're looking for
No.
excuses that, like, if she bothers you, that they don't bother me because you're been married for 2 months. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, you
the
ignore
things
stuff.
that would bother you later on don't bother you right now.
Not in
because
the
you're
first 2
in
months.
I wouldn't tell her to leave. I'd sit down and talk with him.
No, man. This
No, hell no.
it's
dude.
way
It's
too-
marriage,
it's
bro.
way-
No, you can't
What
just tell
kind of-
people. You just can't tell your daughters to divorce.
Hold
their
on, dude.
husbands,
What
bro.
kind of marriage? That I would say, listen. I'm a Muslim. I'm generally not like that. I'm generally Muslim on this, bro. You
You don't want to talk to him, find out why he did that.
No.
You don't want to know maybe if it's
He's-
something he can work on.
No,
First of all,
no,
he's lying.
No. Wait, no. First of all, it's not just about him. It's about how she feels in trusting her husband.
I understand
right?
that.
And 2 months into it, and you're supposed to be normally. If this was like 2 years, like
Yeah.
you know, okay, I can say work it out. Men sometimes get, but 2 months. Like literally, you're supposed to be infatuated with a woman that you're with at the time. I mean, that's how men are at that time, right? It's a new thing. You're around. But 2 months and you're already looking at something else. Like, and this is not, it'd be different if you were like engaged. I would say, oh, you know what? No problem. You know, he's probably just, you know, still seeing what's out there. It's no issue. I would still work through that. But you just got married 2 months ago. You're literally in the honeymoon phase, right? I would sim on this. I'd be like, listen, you got no kids. You feel damaged. Like you feel like totally broken, right? That's hard to come back from. It's really hard, dude. I don't know.
It's just too big of a red flag, especially his explanation that.
Okay, it's too big a red flag.
No,
All right, let's talk about Islamic
Sheikh,
legal. That's fine.
Remember his explanation.
I understand.
His explanation. I can't stop myself from lowering my gaze.
Okay, that's a lot of guys.
No, but that would make sense if you were like on, following some Instagram girls or whatever, That would make sense, Okay,
Yeah,
that's a problem that when you're on a marriage website
Trying to engage in relationship
or some
with
kind of
somebody.
relationship websites and you're just 2 months into the marriage, that's a huge red flag, Chef.
I know it's a huge red flag. It's a huge red flag. Okay, now let's talk Islamically. Can the wife's father tell her to divorce her husband?
Not tell,
Islamically?
but recommend.
Yeah, fine. Recommend.
Yeah.
Fine. But you don't think that you would want to talk to your son-in-law before any of that, or just be like, "Hey, no, just write it off." And no, dude, you gotta talk to them and find out what's happening.
There would be some
Like, dude,
fisticuffs happening.
No, of course, dude. I get that part, but that's still a certain type of talking.
No,
I
I'd
get
be
it.
like, bro. I mean, nothing to talk about, bro. You messed up, bro.
No, listen. Tell me what happened. What really happened?
Yeah,
Just like that kind of. Have
Yeah,
be a real talk with him, bro.
Bro, I was looking for women. What's he gonna say, bro? Like,
Dude, there's always an explanation. There's always an explanation.
okay, what would be what you?
I'm not saying there's a good
No, no,
explanation.
Yeah,
hold on,
what
hold
would
on. Let's say-
satisfy you
let-
as a
let's
father?
say
I don't know.
No, I'm saying-
I want to hear him out though.
Hold on.
I think that's fair.
Well, let's say your daughter went through that. Now,
Yeah.
right? It doesn't. It happens. That's not it happens, right? What do you think would be a good enough excuse he could give you for your daughter not to make a khula?
I'm not talking about good enough excuse.
So
I
then
want to
what's the
know.
point?
I want to know in detail what happened.
Yeah, but what's the point if it's not going to save the marriage? I don't care what his point is, bro.
Well, how would it not save the marriage? What if,
Yeah, that's
the
what
reason
I'm
why I
ask-
said complete? The kid must be just complete lack
This is
of
what I'm asking
maturity.
you for, Amir. What would be something he could say that you would say, okay, you know what, this marriage is solvable, it's salvageable? What could he say?
What
that
if
would,
I brought both? Let's just say you have to bring both these people together, the husband and wife, and you find out. It was one scenario. Let's talk about one scenario. You know, it was really immature. I don't even know. Like, what do you find out? He's just like a super loser kid inside or something.
But do you want your daughter to be married?
No, but they're already married though.
No, I'm saying
So already married.
Hold
though.
on, Amir. Please get specifics, bro. What could he
The
say?
husband is the only one that can ask for divorce. Right?
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm saying
That's what I'm talking
well, no,
about.
I'm saying no. She can ask for a khula, right?
And he doesn't have to grant it to her.
Yeah, true. But what I'm saying is that, but we live in a society now where that can get very dirty very quickly. Meaning
that's
that
fine.
is right. Yeah. So what I'm saying though is that, as an advice, like for your daughter, right? Let's say the guy comes and says, you know what, I want to. This girl, she's gonna divorce no matter what in the legal system. She think I want to leave, whatever. She think whatever. At this point, is there anything this man could say to you or your daughter that would somehow be like, okay, yeah, there's a shot here. Maybe it could work out in the end.
I don't know, dude. You got to be put in that situation. I can't.
And that's what I'm trying. I don't think there's an answer that could be like if it was.
I agree with you. There is no answer.
Years,
That's why you got to hear him out, bro. That's why you got to hear the whole situation out.
I think the silver lining is it's at least it's good as inshallah one day we all have kids and they're going to grow up. We're learning that these behaviors need to be addressed before you get married.
Agreed.
Because obviously men have certain rights when they get married, but what needs to be established is what's going to work
exactly.
With our environment or how we live and what you expect from each other. And I think this tragic kind of thing
that's very tragic.
is a problem because tragic. I agree with Mort. Like, what can this person say? And if your conclusion is like, oh, this guy's just so immature, well, dude, it takes one more action and then he could be a father. Do you want this guy to be raising a kid if he's this immature? Do you want this? I mean, she's gonna get pregnant, she's gonna be less attractive. Like, what? At what point do you just cut your losses? I mean, that's not the right way to look at marriage, and I agree 100%. Like, that's
okay, let me ask you this, if you don't mind.
Yeah,
if you don't mind me asking. Everybody knows a bunch of people before marriage and after marriage that watch porn. Every Muslim knows a person like that. Mm-hmm. So let's just say she busted this dude 2 months into marriage. Mm-hmm. I know dudes before marriage, when their first week of marriage, they've been married for 20 years now, and they still watch porn. Mm-hmm. Let's just say that wife busted him 2 months into the marriage watching porn. Mm-hmm. What should happen? He's still married 20 years. He's grown up now.
So I'll tell you something. I think a woman can get over that. It's more understandable for them to get over that than to be communicating and looking at a site for marriage.
Yeah, there's real people there.
I understand that. We're talking about the dude here now.
Look, the guy.
The dude should be completely disassociated from her.
No. I'm saying we can work on that problem, but I'm saying what I'm more focused on right now is not the dude himself. Mm-hmm. Dude is gonna have to. He can go through therapy, get fixed, and whatever, find a new wife, whatever. Yeah. I'm saying the girl here who's involved. I feel like you're not even considering what she's going through.
No, I am.
Yeah. So who cares if he had? I mean, what did he do at this point? Like, I'm saying, for her to walk in on him watching porn is bad, no doubt.
Yes.
But it's way different when you're on an app communicating or talking, looking for spouses. Like, I mean, it appears to be that way, right? To where you actually can have a connection with another human being and potentially have a relationship. Yeah. Like, you can't have a relationship with a porn star on the internet, right?
I understand that.
Yeah, so they're looking at it very differently. Like, there's a different kind of betrayal.
Okay, look.
Because, Mort's making a good point. If you're month 2 of the marriage and your wife has lost trust in you, you're going to... I mean, how long... At every point when you get into a conflict... You're going to get half a wife, basically. You're going to get a person who's checked out, who's not going to give you a full commitment, who's going to have one foot at the door because she's
going to do her duty.
Yeah, it's not going to be it's not going to be a real thing.
Dude, I totally get it.
The porn or the illicit image kind of stuff is a problem too, but it's not the same.
It's not the same at all. That's why I asked the scenario, what would you do in this situation? And how would you react? Would you react differently, right? If you did? Yeah, I get it. I totally get it.
Yeah, I think the reaction from me would be different. I wouldn't say divorce him for that, right? It's a flaw, it's a problem, but we have to address it for sure.
But what if she's more devastated than the Muslim lady?
Then at that point, then that's her choice. Meaning that if she wants to ask for a khula, because, dude, again, when a woman checks out, like he's saying, bro, it's not worth it, bro. Because now you're just living in shells. Now you're just gonna you're gonna have kids with this person. How do you have it's difficult, bro. It's really because now if she checks out, you're gonna try and it's not gonna work. You're gonna feel like she's cold to you. Yeah, then he's gonna end up looking somewhere else. Then he's gonna look up somewhere else.
It'll be a self-fulfilling prophecy. He will end up with another girl.
He's gonna go looking somewhere else.
I agree.
Especially, look, I understand the analogy you're making, Shaykh, but it exhibits could also be another relationship that he hasn't completely sorted out yet. It could have been happening on that app, and he needs to find closure.
Yeah,
because he may have jumped into getting married
too early
and found out that you know what? There's this one other girl I've been talking to on this app that I still have feelings for, you know? So there could be that kind of issue happening as well.
Maybe she hit it. Maybe she
but
hit her
all that is
profile
going to come.
She unhit it, and you think, oh, she's back in the market.
The only way of actually knowing that, the only way of actually knowing that as a father of this bride is by actually talking to this dude, which is my original point. You have to know what actually happened.
But this guy is already being dishonest.
No, of
he's
course
being
he is.
because his explanation is not honest. Any guy who's looking at that post knows that man giving that explanation, saying that, oh, I have trouble lowering my gaze, that's not a valid excuse, or that's not a reasonable explanation. No, it's
or he's a total
But
knucklehead.
then again, back to his point, bro. That's super immature. Means he shouldn't be married at that time.
I understand
right?
that.
So I guess what we're trying to say is, if you want to have a conversation, sure. What I'm saying is that what is going to come out of that? Like, would you believe anything that guy says? Would you? I mean, how do I know what he's telling me to do?
But dude, everyone deserves a second chance. I know it sounds corny, but this could be the turning point of this person's life. He probably thought he was going to get away with
bro,
this.
He can get a second chance with a second wife, bro. I mean, that's what it is, bro.
With the next wife,
because certain let's be honest here, certain actions have consequences that you can't undo.
Yeah,
it is what it is, bro.
No, I agree. I agree.
Like, there's certain lines in marriages that when you cross them, you're never the same again.
Yeah, and look, marriage is tough. Not in the first 2 months. If your marriage is tough in the first 2 months, like, you're gonna hit some hard times.
That's a good point, dude.
In marriage, you're gonna hit some hard times when you have kids. If this dude in the first 2 months couldn't, whatever it was, you know, like, you should know you're attracted to the girl. I mean, that doesn't. You don't have to be married to figure that out.
Yeah,
that's standard.
I can't believe I had to actually argue on this behalf of the girl.
Right.
I would generally, like, I'm usually just the circumstances is just the girl's dumb and whatever. But this is because you find a dumb post or whatever, like, oh, she's over emotional.
Oh, you're talking about stuff that we show on the episode. Yeah.
No, other
stuff.
Not
a blanket statement. Yeah. Not one brush stroke.
Most of the things are dumb, but listen. The point being, though, is that, like, this girl, like, had to legit. No, I know. Like, she's what I'm saying. When I say dumb, I mean that, like, a lot of times you'll find them overreacting in a post, right? And think, oh my god, all this stuff, right? Jumping to conclusions. I think this girl is not legitimately actually.
No, dude, messed up hard, bro.
She's like underreacting. Like, I mean, the way she's relatively. Yeah. I mean, so I can understand where she's coming from. And if I was a father of this girl, I would, understand why she would want to leave this person. Yeah. And I would be very. I can't force her to divorce anybody, but I would be very concerned about the longevity of this marriage. I don't think it would last.
And let's flip it. Obviously, men can marry more than one wife and all this stuff. But can you imagine if in the first 2 months you saw your wife corresponding to other guys because she wasn't?
That would crush you.
That would.
There's stories of that in here too.
As a man,
there's stories of some girl who had feelings for her cousin or something, and she got married. She got forced to marry some guy, and
she still has a cousin.
She was still communicating with her cousin she had feelings with, and she ended up leaving the guy, and he's completely like devastated. And there's some really heartbreaking stories, happening from the girl side as well, where they have emotional attachments that. And I mean, we know about so many of these issues in real life. So many people
I'm saying, imagine you
stuff.
yourself as, like he said, as a man, and you found that your spouse was 2 months into marriage on an app.
Yeah.
Right?
Of course.
There's nothing you could tell me that is going to make me...
You'll never look at her the same.
Yeah, I'll never look at the same. Yeah. I'll probably be saying, you know what, I'm just going to stay like I did it, my parents around, whatever, just fulfill it, whatever. But I'd be looking around everywhere else, bro. It wouldn't even be a thing for me. I mean, no, because you check out, right? And the same way I don't blame this girl for checking out, right? Because
I don't either.
You can't... Like, this is a person that, imagine, like, this girl, it sounds like she was committed to this guy, right? She had plans to live decades with this guy and grow old and whatnot. She was legitimately interested, invested in this marriage, right? Yeah. And to have that, like, the slap in the face to that, it shatters her dreams.
Of course.
Like, the marriage is not the marriage she wanted.
Yeah.
It's just, and that's tough.
It is.
All right, boys. We got to pray about him.
Yes, sir.
That's our show for this evening. Help us out on patreon.com/the Madam Lukes. Oh, we have eyewitness testimony to our new equipment here and recent upgrade. Sajjad, you're back on the microphone.
Papa Bear.
Look alive and tell the listeners
Papa Bear.
Sign up on patreon.com/the Madam Lukes. We got some new patrons. Welcome aboard. I'll be sending you a welcome greeting soon so you can join our fancy little WhatsApp group where you can talk to gentlemen such as
Papa
Sajjad.
Bear. He's Papa Bear from
Papa Sajjad.
Sajjad, talk about the fancy equipment?
No, I will say the setup is amazing. I mean, and I think the quality of the production you guys could see is fantastic. And Sim and company have done an excellent job. So money well spent, and inshallah it keeps going strong.
Very nice, as Borat says.
Very nice.
Very nice.
Wow.
All right, guys. We'll see y'all next time. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Every Reddit thing that I've seen, I haven't been on the subreddit. It was like it's usually like a lady, and she's saying, "Guys, I want to know, is this halal for my Muslim boyfriend to blah blah blah."